Hey guys, it's Mr. C back with your level 6 math. Today we're doing lesson 75 on writing fractions and decimals as a percent, part 1. And this is an easy lesson. We've been doing a lot of review lately because we had like 10 lessons in a row that were all new things. This one is, again, it's kind of going to be review. It's not going to feel hard. However, this does seem to be tricky for some people. And I'll get into why that is in here in a minute. So a percent is actually a fraction with a denominator of 100. We've gone over this before. So instead of writing the denominator of 100, we just put the percent or por ciento or of 100 sign, which is this. And so 25 over 100, we just say 25 with the percent sign. Pretty simple. All right, so if we write 3 over 100 as a percent, that's easy. It's just 3 of 100. Now, I'm going to say this before we go to the next problem. Where kids get hung up, or anybody gets hung up, is if it's not 100 on the bottom. And so if you want to find a percent, you have to solve for a fraction out of 100 first. So if it's 3/10, for example, like we're going to see on our next one, we need to get that to 100. So first, let's look at 3 over 100. The denominator is already 100, so we can just write that with a percent sign, 3%. Okay, but then, what if we have 3/10? This is the challenging thing. So to get 10 to be 100, well, 10 times what equals 100? 10. So we just multiply the numerator and denominator by 10. Remember, 10 over 10 is just 1, so it's going to be the same number. So if we take that 3 over 10, multiply it by 10 over 10, now we have 30 over 100. So we know it's 30%. I can't tell you how many students will on a test see 3/10 and they'll write 3%. It's not 3%, it's 30%, okay? So let's take a word problem here now. 30 students take a test, 15 got an A, what percent got an A? So it's a ratio first, so we're just going to solve 15 out of 30. We're going to have to reduce that. 15 out of 30 equals 1/2. 1/2 isn't out of 100, so 2 times what is 100? 2 times 50, so we put 50 over 50. We get 50 over 100, 50%. Now, a lot of you are just going to look at that and say 15 out of 30, that's half or 50%, right? Most of us do this conversion in our brain naturally, and that's great. We want to remember the formula for how to do it. Make sure the denominator is 100%, because sometimes it does get tricky. So let's just remember, make sure the denominator is 100%. Right. Right, 0.12 as a percent, so now we're going from a decimal instead of fraction. Well, that's pretty easy. We see that there's 2 spots, so this is in hundredths already, 12 hundredths. You would just rewrite that as 12 over 100 or 12%. So we can write that as 12%. That's an easy one. Let's do a little bit harder. Now we have, again, now it's just 8, and I see a lot of students who will say, oh, well, that's 80% because it's an 8, right? No, it's in the hundredths space, so we go tenths, hundredths, so 8 hundredths equals 8 over 100 or 8%, which is great. Actually, doing it from a decimal to a percent is easier than going the other way. If we say 8%, write that as a decimal, I get a lot of students who will write 0.8. It's 0.08, and that's, you have to make sure that it's in the hundredths slot. Okay. Right. Oh, look at this. We just have the same example. 0.8 as a percent. So a lot of students, again, will say, oh, well, that's 8%. No, it's not. That's in the tenths. So if we wrote that as a fraction, 8 over 10, oh, they didn't do that. If you write it over 10, you have to multiply that by 10 over 10 to get it over 100. 8 tenths equals 80 over 100 or 80%. Okay, 80 hundredths equals 80%. Note that when the decimal number is converted to percent, the decimal point is shifted 2 places to the right, okay? From decimal, 2 places to the right. That's because it's in the hundredths slot. All right, and that's it. So you're just going to have to practice this today. It's not too tricky. It should feel like review. Good luck. Have fun. It'll be great. Bye.